My name is Mina V. Esguerra. I am a romance author and publisher in Metro Manila, Philippines. I write romance in English for a young adult and adult audience. Since 2009, I've released 27 books, and 2 of my books have won the Filipino Reader's Choice Award for Chick Lit. I founded a romance writing collective called Romance Class in 2013, and since then, we have become a writing and publishing support system for over 100 Filipino authors of romance in English. Romance Class is a collective of Filipino authors of romance in English. It's not a publisher, but a collective of self-published authors. But we work in community with each other, write books following the same editorial guidelines, and promote books through community events. The distinct features of our books is that we write and publish English language romance, following editorial guidelines that require the books to show relationships that prioritize consent and the freedom of our Filipino characters to choose love. As a collective, we have released over 150 books, all listed at romanceclassbooks.com. Our presence in the Philippine publishing industry is as an alternative to traditional publishing because Philippine publishers since 2012 onwards have shifted away from publishing romance in English. Any snapshot of recent bestsellers in the Philippines over the past 2 years will include romance and dramatic fiction for teens and adults set in the present day or fantasy settings or historical times. Most bestsellers in Philippine fiction are written and published in the Filipino language. Wattpad is the biggest indicator of a future bestseller. The stories often have themes of class conflict, family secrets, and modern versions of a dynamic similar to Meteor Garden or Boys Over Flowers, a female main character clashing against a bully love interest. The themes in these books are also similar to the themes of Filipino romance series and movies. There is a cycle of influence within romance media from film and TV to online stories to books and back again. In 2020, Filipinos became avid viewers of BL or Boys Love web series like Together and Game Boys. Publishers started calling their queer romance books BL and GL books. Filipino readers may consider themselves fans of an author or a publisher just as they would a celebrity. The recent Filipino Reader's Choice Awards was another peek at which books and authors have widespread awareness and support. Authors to note as of right now are Jonax, Maxine Gigi, Binibining Mia, Guay Saludes, Steno Padilla, Peach X Vision, Tepay Pascual, and Bridget Bautista. Based on the common themes and features of the bestsellers, I describe the situation in the Philippines with 3 keywords. Keyword number 1 is romance. It is popular today and will still be popular tomorrow. Romance genre dominates the bestseller lists and app analytics, and romance author events are well attended. Filipino romance authors of today often now have a following on Wattpad, Twitter, Facebook, or their own communities, which means whenever a new book is released, they can receive orders of more than 100 copies in the first day. Over the course of its first year, one title can sell from 2,000 to over 50,000 copies. The pandemic and cancellation of on-site book signings may have slowed down the average copy sold per year, but before the pandemic, the most popular authors were doing book signings with 500 to over 1,000 readers lining up for them. As events return, we're looking to see if attendance will again match or surpass 2019 numbers. Keyword number 2 is diversity. Yes, this means BL, GL, and queer romance fiction, but it also means Filipino romance creators of various underrepresented communities who are posting their work online, on Wattpad or Webtoon or Twitter or Archive of Our Own and other places. Traditional publishing has a reputation for being too Manila-centric, and these new creators are thriving and attracting a massive audience from various regions in the country. They are innovating in these spaces before publishers find them. Keyword number 3 is community. Where do we find the innovative new storytellers? They're on Wattpad, Comiket for indie print comics, Webtoon and PenLab for serialized online comics, Romance Class for romance in English, Instagram and Facebook for romantic poetry, many communities online. The tomorrow of Philippine publishing is starting in online communities today. The situation I described about the popularity of romance, the number of copies sold, and the long lines at book events, those are from before the pandemic. The biggest change in recent years for publishing in the Philippines was the lockdown, and how the large book fairs that the industry relied on to sell print books had to be cancelled or postponed for almost 2 years. The Manila International Book Fair resumed this year, but the volume of people and the lines for book signings have not yet returned to how it was in 2019 or earlier. But at the same time, there are indicators that online readership and audience grew. Online book fairs took advantage of the increased number of readers buying on apps. Readers posted their reviews and recommendations on TikTok and YouTube. I only have the stats and survey communities for my own community right now, but from 2020 onwards, we saw an increase in Wattpad follower count. My own account added 24,000 new followers in 2020 alone. More sales on Amazon, more libraries acquiring our books, and readers in at least 23 markets worldwide. The doors at in-person events closed, but windows to the online audience opened. In Romance Class, we've created a community platform that supports dozens of authors, especially new authors. We established a YouTube channel, a Twitch channel, and encouraged authors to create Wattpad accounts. We conducted online lectures, collaborated with new artists, designers, and editors. We produced new work via a web series. We adapted by focusing on creating new work and online events. In October, we returned to in-person events and will be continuing to keep in touch with our international audience through hybrid events. Creative communities are connected and relevant. For this, I'd like to mention the work of publishers 19th Avenida and Comiket. 19th Avenida is the print publisher of Duty Ka Ba, a serialized romance webcomic by Tepay Pascual featuring doctors and nurses, which she started on Facebook and Instagram during the pandemic. Comiket is a comics community and marketplace that has also become a publisher and distributor, and they continue their support of the indie comics community in the Philippines by holding online events, selling books through a web form and shopping apps, and establishing a physical presence in more parts of the Philippines. I hope that fellow Asian publishers watching this reach out to more creative communities, especially the ones that are creating exciting and relevant work. I hope the industry and its institutions can provide genuine, sustainable support to authors who are creating the trends of tomorrow in their online communities right now. I'd love for us to find out how we can work together and tell more stories and invite new readers into our world.